First on News 11 at 4, nearly 5 years in prison for a man accused of shooting into a crowd outside a St. Louis nightclub. After months of scrutiny, Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner announces her resignation effective June 1st. Severe weather threatening the area, and we begin with live team coverage. First, we're going to check in with Chief Meteorologist Glenn Zimmerman. And Glenn, hottest day of the year in St. Louis, humidity, perfect for storms. You are seeing that live picture of Donald Trump, the former president, coming out and being greeted. His first public appearance, of course, since that assassination attempt just 2 days ago, and there with his running mate, J.D. Vance, and his two sons behind him, and there's that bandage over his right ear. And it's an interesting dichotomy when you look at his previous vice president running mate, Mike Pence, who was a big fan of Trump's, and then toward the end they obviously had the falling out, and now you have J.D. Vance, who was not a fan at all and now is totally on his side. So it's an interesting turn of events for Trump's running mates. First on Fox, we begin with breaking news. There was an officer-involved shooting tonight in St. Clair, Missouri. That shooting happened on North Commercial Avenue near the R&R Ace Hardware. High school football games on both sides of the river under tight security tonight after chaos and violence inside schools. In Alton, Fox 2's Mitch McCoy is live tonight where tight restrictions are in place to get inside the Redbirds home opener. Mitch. Well, it's the question of 2023. How hard is it to elect a House Speaker? That's what some lawmakers and voters are questioning as Republicans still try and rally behind a candidate. We're following a developing story, a horrific scene in University City this morning. 3 teenagers killed in a car crash. The teens reportedly are not U City residents. They attended Ladue High School. 1 month after 21-year-old Levi Henning was killed outside his home in North City, St. Louis City Police have arrested Jakaran Riley, the brother of a woman Henning was previously charged with killing, an arrest which suggests the murder may have been in retaliation. Illinois State Police have located the driver who they say was involved in a crash that caused a deadly ammonia leak that killed 5 people and injured members of Mizzou's swim team. That suspect's car seen briefly on video. The crash happened late Friday night along U.S. Highway 40 east of the small town of Titopolis. The United States and Iran are holding indirect talks this week about the Islamic Republic's nuclear program. The smell of summer, barbecues, freshly cut lawns, and sunscreen. At the Missouri Botanical Garden, that's not the smell making headlines as the famous corpse flower bloomed late last night. So I do have one question for you. A lot of people love this fall weather. As a meteorologist, are you allowed to pick a favorite season? Yeah, here he is.
But yet he did.
Giving Columbia the cold shoulder.
Speaking of cold,
yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, look at us.
History being made right now. My first time out here on the Lakeside Renovation and Design Weather. Yes, it is.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. I saw Mike Colombo out here. I said, hey, producer, Alicia, how can I get out here? Are you looking to go on a cruise?
Not anytime soon.
Or a new job? Probably not anytime soon either. Well, the iconic riverboat cruises at the Gateway.
Something I don't?
No. By the National Football League. Maybe me and Daniel and Shirley and Glenn, maybe we can make a little team.
Yeah, we can
make
get
a little run for the Olympics.
I can run fast.
I'm in.
Daniel says he's in.
I want the Olympic tattoo.
What about Glenn? Are you in? Glenn is good.
We're making a team. One of those leads investigators are hoping could find a suspect is local business security camera footage. This is right at the corner. I spoke with this owner off camera. He told me he is working with police. This stretch of Interstate 55 into Vernon, Illinois, used for north and southbound travelers, will now be remembered as the site of a major car pileup that claimed the lives of at least 7 people. This is what I can do. So it's not much, but if Roberto Carlos has, taught me something, it's a little bit of this. In the last 30 minutes or so, MoDOT have started to report a few more accidents along 64 and along 70 West. Right now, me and my photographer, we are going over the Discovery Bridge. A heavy police presence here outside the emergency room where those officers were transported to. This is just a few blocks away from that incident they were involved in. Once again, 1 officer shot, 2 other officers injured. Now that scene is cleared, but one thing that is still here, I want to show you this. We're along Chambers Road. This is just east of West Florissant Avenue. There's some shattered glass here. Just as quickly as the crime happened, police were able to get high-definition photos of a suspect through the neighborhood's network of security cameras. Before all that can be done, though, the airport will need to pick up approval from the FAA. For years, Tower Rock has been a monument you've had to admire from afar. But because of these low water levels in the Mississippi River, now you can get as close as you want. The Armory's been open for about a month, and so far business has been a hole-in-one. The Milburn and Yeager intersection in South County is somewhat unassuming for most of the day, but during 2 times in the mornings and in the afternoon, that's when the school bell rings. It's a completely different story. That's because Oakville Elementary is right at that intersection, and just a block away is Oakville High School. And I got to ask you, gentlemen, you dress the part. How on earth do you look this good so early in the morning? You got the suave look going on. You dress like some rock stars. When something needs to be done at Robinson Elementary, head custodian Brian Freeman is usually the man for the job.
Mr. Brian is a huge part of our school.
He's only been at the school for a year, but is already leaving a big impression.
Something falls off the wall, we need some maintenance, a kiddo gets sick, there's a mess. So he is a very busy man.
Brian's done just about everything at the school. And last Tuesday, on February 28th, he did something in the school cafeteria he never thought he would need to do.
He was sitting at the table, kind of bent over, and he was pulling on his shirt.
And that's when Brian leapt into action, walking to this side of the cafeteria to save that 3rd grader's life.
I picked him up from the table and I did the Heimlich maneuver on him. I pressed him about 3 times and I did it one more time and it came up and it hit the floor.
The Heimlich maneuver is a skill Brian learned years ago.
I don't know what I was thinking. You know, it was just I seen him at the time and somebody had to do something.
The Robinson Elementary School staff is praising him for his quick thinking, something he says anyone else would have done if they were in his position.
I think it was great that I was able to help, but a hero? Not really, no.
Maybe not the title, but a hero's thank you certainly does not hurt.
I'm standing there and I'm about to clean the whole cafeteria, and he snuck in on me and he snuck behind me, and he tapped me on the back, and I turned around and I said, "Hey, D'Amico, how you doing, man? You okay?" And he just hugged me. He gave me a card that read, "Thank you for saving my life. I'm okay now. Thank you."
Through the St. Louis City skyline, the St. Louis wheel stands tall, shining bright, changing colors throughout the night. But for the next few days, a constant shade of purple will blanket the 200-foot structure and its surrounding buildings.
It feels good to show that St. Louis is a city that is about community, that is about championing one another, getting behind certain issues and topics that we really feel passionate about.
The color purple is one of nearly 17 million different colors the wheel can change to, but it's much more than a color.
Well, we hope that it can just put a smile on our face.
The St. Louis wheel will stay purple this weekend in support of Janae Edmondson. It's her favorite color. The 17-year-old needed both her legs amputated after a car hit her last Saturday in downtown St. Louis while in town for a volleyball tournament.
It was just a tragic accident.
From the Bomarito Automotive Group Skyfox, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers building in the Hill is also being shown in a new light. Frank Jacobs, a business manager with the IBEW, says Janae's story hits close to home, as he used to travel with his son's baseball team to out-of-town tournaments.
You can't imagine you leave your sports game and you're walking down the street and then something tragic like this happens. I really feel for the family and especially for her.
Jacobs plans to keep these lights purple for at least a week, with the hope that the Edmondson family can see the city in a different light.
I think it's just important to show the family and even their hometown, their volleyball team, that the city of St. Louis, will stand behind you and they have your back and we support, what she's going through.